Oh God, that actually ends a bit quickly, doesn't it? I need to work on that. So, welcome. How many people we got watching so far? I can't see the thing. Oh, where's it gone? Actually, it's over the other side. Okay, everything's in the wrong place. So, we've got a fair number of people watching. So, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining right from the start as well. And I do hope I'll be thanking you right at the end, and you'll still be here. Anyway, enough rambling. This is Mafftopia, science and technology news with the latest scientific breakthroughs and technology things. And we're live twice a week, including right now. I'm Maff, and there is my friend and co-host, Save with Crypto, who might be having internet troubles. But hello, Save. How are you?
I'm okay, thanks. Yeah, I'm in the process of I'm in the process of changing from Virgin Media to PlusNet, and it's been metaphor day, as in wolf in sheep's clothing, out of the frying pan into the fire. Just everything I can think of, really. The switchover date was supposed to be the 1st of April, and they chose to do it today, which is the day when I had 2 live streams. And at the moment, I'm working on my iPhone 5G mobile hotspot.
Wow,
It's the best I can do. Sorry.
So, but Virgin are terrible, in my humble opinion.
Which is why I'm trying to get rid of them.
Yeah, I don't blame you, but they like to have the last dump, whatever, just of the day, to just say that they're as if that's supposed to make you feel worse about your choice or anything like that. It's all a bit strange. So I'm just going to swap a thing, put it over there. That's what I meant to be. That's better. So because I was with Virgin Media for internet, TV, phone, etc. And I mean, that was some years ago now, but they one day, one of their engineers just like turned up, their van pulled up at the sort of, the telecoms box at the top of at the bottom of the driveway. It's not like I'm living in a big house at the driveway. It's just like shared driveway and things. And fiddled with the stuff inside, looked around a bit sheepishly, and then just drove off. And I suddenly realized that I no longer had internet. It's just like that. What? Why? There's literally no reason. So called them up. You could actually speak to humans at Virgin in those days, and it was someone with a Welsh accent, so that was okay. Good sign. But yeah, I explained the situation. He basically said, "Oh yeah, it's going to be about between a month and 3 months, and then you'll have your internet restored." And so, well, I use this for work. That's beyond ridiculous. That's just insane. Where the internet provider. So, no, you're really not. If you're not providing it for like 3 months. Yeah, I switched. Funny enough, but could they have tried any harder to give me absolutely no choice but to switch at that point? So yeah, that was my experience of Virgin Media. So I think yours is. It seems like it's kind of shaped up to be quite similar.
Yeah, I mean the hardest part is leaving. Yeah. I've yeah, it's yeah. Anyway, but the point was the switchover date was supposed to be the 1st of April, not today. Anyway, so I have actually got the PlusNet hardware, so I plugged that in, and that doesn't sync up because they're not ready for it yet. So they kind of went through the diagnostics with me, and they said, "Oh, we've got to send an engineer out from OpenReach." I said, "Okay, when can they come?" They said, "A Monday." So, I mean, every penny I earn is through the internet. All my daughter's work for college is all through the internet. It's terrible. Anyway, I'm going to get an unlimited data smarty SIM for my spare phone. I'm going to use that as a hotspot over the weekend, but that's the best I can do.
Yeah.
Really.
It's a bit like the Blitz sort of thing, isn't it? Like people are just going to be like, so the family in your home are just going to be kind of gathered around this smarty SIM phone, like it's a fireplace or something, just like, you know, getting the internet from it.
It reminds me of the pandemic, actually, when I was living in France and all the kids were doing their homework online, and the internet there was absolutely appalling anyway. Literally,
being
like,
in France, so, yeah,
being in France and being in like the the ski resort in the mountains where it's a bit all backwards, and it just meant that all the kids were sort of trying to upload their homework and stuff, and everyone was at home, so the internet ground to a halt, and the only thing I could do was I kind of got the kids to go through their process of it. Then I'd have to drive down to where the nearest 4G mast was in those days. Drive to the nearest 4G mast with both of their laptops in my car, my phone hotspotted to the mast just to upload their homework, and that was in the days when we weren't allowed out after 6 p.m. So I had to do all that before 6 p.m. as well. It was just
or covertly with the lights off, the car lights off.
it was, I don't know. No, well, you weren't allowed to go outside at all. You weren't even allowed to go out for a bike ride in France, after 6 p.m.
That's ridiculous. I mean, it got a bit like that for a while here as well, I think, with the like people out just walking their dog on the open moors, and that was nobody in sight for miles around, and then suddenly the kind of the police just converged, with the
that was the only way to do it, was to have a dog, so people were lending their dogs out to other people, just so they could go out at night,
Yeah. So anyway, got quite a whole bunch of things to get through today. Lots of news and technology breakthroughs, and things to discuss whether we should be bitter or worried about them. Really, the usual kind of thing is: are we sleepwalking into a Big Brother scenario? That sort of thing, or are we already there? So without much further ado, because I've got to find the right button, let's play this.
Mafftopia technology, science, breakthroughs, discoveries, news.
That was that. This is a bit anticlimactic, really. Should I just play it again? Sorry. I could play the subscribe one. Just please do subscribe, by the way, and click like and follow if you're on Rumble or X, and comment and all those good things. And here's that dog again to say the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What have we got? So the first thing then is about, that's right, tab. Yeah. So this is about Linux OS, like operating system, age verification. So what we're seeing here is an X post from yesterday, quoting the Lunduk journal. You can find Lunduk on I presume that's how you pronounce it, Lunduk, on YouTube as well. He's a Linux veteran with a good nose for freedom and its attackers and the forms that they come in. So the post highlights there are two things. That there's the New York Senate bill S8102A. The bill mandates commercially reasonable and technically feasible age assurance on every operating system, app store, and internet-able device at activation. In other words, whether using Mac OS, Linux, or Windows or whatever, be BOS or whatever, then that system has to start to verify your age, which is kind of a odd thing. It's one of those sort of, well, that's okay. What's wrong with that? And maybe there's nothing wrong with that. But when you kind of get into it a bit, there's potentially a lot wrong with it. So one of the things, if these OS creators and vendors and so on don't comply, then they'll be slapped with a $10,000 penalty per violation. So like it's one of those just like probably unenforceable ones, to be honest, because it's just ridiculous. So like if an app store has 1 million users, active users, who have all like logged in and done stuff and downloaded apps or whatever, and so it's going to be $10,000 penalty per each of those users. So quite a large sum of money. But it does mean, so like the larger corporations and things with very expensive lawyers and so on, probably not that bothered about this. They might even just be fine to just pop up a little thing saying, how old are you? They probably already got your date of birth. They've done all that stuff already. But things like, just installing a Linux distro, whether it's like Linux Mint, Ubuntu, whatever, then essentially, so it's going to ask for your date of birth when you log in, and then it's going to keep it. And after that, any API, sorry, any app or whatever that's running on there, whether it's a web browser or whatever, can query the Linux API, which they're going to have to write to implement this, and say, okay, so what's this person's age? What's this person's date of birth? And they won't be allowed to sort of kind of hide it away behind like permissions, OS level permissions. It's got to be open so any app can query it. So that essentially, if you then had a web browser and you take it to a kind of adult rated website, a perfectly respectable adult rated website, and if you told it that you're 15, then it'll say, sorry, no, can't take you there. There's an obvious flaw in that plan. It might be fairly easy to spot, but essentially, so that there's that, because there's two. There's a New York Senate bill, which has only just been like proposed so far, but excuse me. In October of last year, California enacted the Digital The Digital Age Assurance Act, which is Assembly Bill 1043, and is signed by Governor Newsom. Governor Nuisance, am I right? And it'll come into force on January the 1st, 2027. I've never met Governor Newsom. I don't know if he's a nuisance or not, but yeah, that'll come into force on January the 1st of next year. A similar thing for California, and that's already been signed through, so that's kind of happening. And then there are similar measures also being proposed in Colorado. So it seems to be like kind of state by state, they're kind of pushing this out through across at least the states that will have this sort of this sort of legislation. So there's that. There's also like remarkably similar laws have already been rolling out in the UK and the EU. So like the EU has got their Digital Services Act, which is altogether more onerous, I think, than what's being proposed for the US. So the Digital Services Act, DSA, began in 2024. It was effective in 2024 and kind of required platforms to protect minors, not the digging kind, but the children from seeing scary things, I guess. That's going to be merged pretty soon with the EU digital identity wallets, as and when they kind of start to appear. So the digital identity wallets will be mandatory by the end of this year in the EU member states. So it's all kind of veering towards like a social credit score, your bank kind of or finance provider withholding your funds. I mean, you know, you're probably familiar with that. You know, they do that. It's your money, but withholding funds because you've driven beyond the 10-mile limit today. That kind of thing.
Yeah. Didn't the UK ID thing, didn't that get scrapped? The idea of that, did I read that correctly?
Yeah, there was a U-turn on that. That doesn't mean it's the end of it. These things always come back, and then they try again, and then they try again, and then try again, but put it in different forms or whatever. So in practice, then, what's this going to mean? So, like the initial bit, probably to put it into perspective, really, because these. Oh, actually, I was going to. God, I was doing so well then, and I forgot to put up a thing. Here we go. So yeah, essentially, it's the slippery slope, you know. Oh, that reminds me, I got a where the hell is it? Sorry, 1 second. Yeah. It's quite corny, but poor old Tux, the Linux penguin mascot, it's a slippery slope, essentially. And so the way, oh yeah, so I was going to start basically. So the initial thing is quite innocuous, what's being proposed and what Governor Newsom has signed in. So essentially, when you, as I was saying, when you install a new OS, you've got your fresh Windows download, or you open up your fresh new laptop, and first thing, or one of the first things it's going to do after like trying to sell you more Microsoft services, Microsoft Live services, and so on. But also, probably any time you add a user into it, then you'll need to enter your age or your date of birth. So in terms of PII, like personally identifiable information, that's some PII right there already, just being demanded by the state. So essentially, the device or the App Store service or whatever would need to create its own local API. So not necessarily remote, but so like in the case of Linux or Windows, etc., it'll just be running on the device, but it can then use that to check the user's age. So storm in a teacup. Is it just a storm in a teacup, or just type a number and move on? And we're protecting children after all. Just think of the children. That's how they always front these things, isn't it? Just so. But the trouble is that there are lots of troubles. That's the thing. So in particular, just as of yet, there's no proof of age required. So you just type in a number, and I have heard that children sometimes lie. So no, honestly, God, I heard that. So they might enter a false age. I mean, it's possible. Not my children. So, but
mine has definitely. Yeah, she's about 28 now, even though she's 16.
Yeah,
she's been adding 10 years onto her age since she was 10.
Yeah, I mean, it gets to the point where suddenly she'll start subtracting. Just a matter of time.
Yeah. And to be honest, with all this kind of stuff that's happened, I mean, certain sites that she wants to visit that she's not supposed to, sort of thing. She puts a VPN to like Ukraine or something, and sort of it's not a problem anymore. And also, I said, well, is everyone getting fake IDs now? And he said, yeah, well, yeah, of course. There's a guy on TikTok who's selling them for like 50 quid, sort of thing. I said, I could probably make one cheaper, but yeah, no. So that they will always find a way. Them children, people, not yours, of course, but mine.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Mr. Miyagi. Oh, welcome. We have royalty with us, of karate royalty. Hello, sir. I won't comply. I'll build stage 0 Gen 2 if I have to, and build everything myself. That's very much the saving grace of something like Linux. It is open source. You can just download the thing, recompile the kernel, whatever. Because the other thing, I suppose, is that the core, the Linux kernel itself probably won't be affected by this, because it in itself isn't an operating system. Obviously, it's the whole like GNU Linux thing put together and turned into distro, or a bunch of stuff you download and create your own version of a distro. I suppose that is the OS in that case. But yeah, so so if you sort of wonder then, if this is the case, like all a person has to do is type in a false age, and yeah, then good enough. They get past it. So kind of wonder then, like, why would any government want to enforce something as pointless as this? Because the other part of it is that the government doesn't require yet, or like any government, I suppose, doesn't require yet the date of birth information to be sent to them. That it's not like they're providing a remote API that these things have to phone into and report, and so it isn't that slippery slope though. But this is the thing. So like this is just like getting people used to kind of mandatory age verification, and well, not even age self-reporting. As soon as it becomes something like a bit more exacting, like a digital ID, proof of age, essentially, then that's when it starts to get a bit, because proof of age really means proof of identity. Then kind of going online and just being tracked, of course, and then of course the whole like Orwellian nightmare thing comes in, like social credit score and so on. So that you can kind of expect that will follow on. Just otherwise, why are they even bothering? Why would they bother with this first stage? So, I mean, that said, what they are talking about is kind of trivial compared with what the UK and the EU are pushing through right now. So, yeah, the other part of it is, if I bring a where to go? Is it this? I think so. No, that's something completely different. Sorry. If I create a video out of this, I'll edit this bit out. Faffing around. So this is a good example of just how kind of ludicrous this can be, because this is a commit on this DB48X, which is it's open source firmware for a calculator, and it's kind of in the spirit of the old was it Texas Instruments, whatever it was, can't remember now, but the old style kind of scientific calculators that were just like great things. And there's a bit of like, why can't we get just that exactly that thing anymore? They were kind of perfect. They achieved perfection and then moved on from it, because they have to change and develop and progress. So, but essentially with this, so these people did like a open source implementation of that same calculator firmware, and it gets used. People can kind of flash this onto an EEPROM, that kind of thing, and they felt very compelled to add this legal note into their license, which says, as a consequence of recent legislative activity in California and Colorado, California residents may no longer use DB48X after January the 1st, 2027, and Colorado residents may no longer use it after January the 1st, 2028. DB48X is probably an operating system under these laws. However, it does not, cannot, and will not implement age verification. It's pretty based. So, but it kind of it just highlights really how ludicrous and sweeping a law like that is, because so essentially they're putting they're enforcing, the government are enforcing, or the state in this particular case are enforcing age verification on a calculator. Literally, kind of saying like, any new calculator devices, you have to verify your age on them. It's like, yeah, and then of course I mean, well, it's a bit like,
we need age verification on the scourge that are slide rulers. You can even compute rocket trajectories without government permission.
So thank you to Dino for that one, by the way. So yeah, it's kind of ridiculous, but that's the way it's going. It's because it's so, like, well, apart from the fact that it's so unnecessary in the first place, and it's so like, how does this benefit us? The people, the population. It doesn't. It's purely about state level surveillance. Essentially, is what it is. What's down to, and it's kind of the beginnings of that. So, yeah, there is already opposition to the law from developers mainly. So, like, I mean, the human ones, the human developers. So the main Linux distros is the same for like Ubuntu, Mint, etc. They haven't decided yet or announced yet what they're going to do, but they'll comply, because just the financial penalties are pretty insane. It's also just, I mean, they, at some level, they probably should comply on that, because, and I know that's a bit of a hot take, I don't think that's going to be a popular thing to say, but if there's a law kind of enacted on that, we can take a stand and sort of say, like, on behalf of the people running the Linux distros, we're going to be very brave and tell them that they shouldn't be complying, but they'll be the ones getting the financial penalties and having to hire expensive lawyers and so on to fight, to have their day in court or whatever. So why should they? Just for us, that's taking on quite a lot. So it's not an easy one at all. So I mean, that there are also people just complaining loudly that the distro community leaders are even discussing what to do. So the fact that they've announced they're going to meet to talk about whether they should comply or not, and people are very upset about that. It seems a bit unreasonable. It's like, of course they're going to talk about it. It's just like should we comply or shouldn't we? It's just no. Don't mention it. It's like, don't mention the war. Isn't it? Just don't even think about it. Oh no, I just thought of it. I thought about it. It's like, even if the discussion, as said, is just should we or shouldn't we? It's like, don't even entertain the idea. So
to me, this seems a little bit like, obviously you know me through like crypto stuff, and obviously what's been interesting this past 12 months or so is various like governments and people like that, saying, okay, you now have to pay tax on decentralized on like earnings from decentralized platforms, which is like a platform that you can use where you don't even have to prove who you are. You're just a wallet address. And I think a lot of these governments actually just don't understand what all this stuff's all about. And I just wonder if there's a lot of like, people trying to pass laws and stuff here who just really do not understand what open source software is all about, and about the whole how it all works. Really, I don't know. It just
Yeah.
it seems to me there's a lot of people who just don't understand it, and they're just trying to pass laws for things they're frightened of.
Yeah, I think it's true that, I mean, because it is arguable about whether there's any sort of just kind of genuine intent behind this, into like, is this actually to do with protecting children from online horrors? I mean, if anything, I think this actually makes it things a bit more dangerous for children, because they'll go to any website on their browser that actively queries the API that has the child's date of birth, and the website will ask the browser through its JavaScript API, just what is this user's date of birth? And then if it's a predatorial website, a hacked website, whatever, if it's on social media, then that is then like, oh great, we've got a child here, just and then kind of does its predatorial things, whatever they do. So I think it's bloody dangerous, and really, really hasn't been thought through. To make it necessary for children online to have to declare that they're children to anybody who's interested is scary.
In a way, you actually want the children to be anonymous, don't you?
Yeah,
really,
exactly.
They're just the same as them going into a sweet shop with 50p. Sort of like, that way they're not showing who they are. If they walk in with a credit card, then it's a different story, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And it's so talking about, like I said, that the people making these laws tend not to really quite understand, or they haven't thought it through, or they've been badly advised, or it's just not actually anything to do with protecting children at all. It's just that's not the intent behind it.
Yeah,
it turns out to be that's generally the case, I think.
Yeah, I mean, things have always been a bit like that, though. I mean, I believe there's part of Sherwood Forest in Nottingham where you have to blow your horn 3 times, and if you don't, the penalty is death. And that is now part of
that's the real thing.
I believe so, yeah, and that's now part of the A52. So really, everyone should be eliminated from the A52 now, sort of, unless they beep their horn 3 times. Obviously it was to prevent highwaymen attacks or something, but anyway, but so there's always been like ridiculous laws around, hasn't it? And this just seems like a ridiculous law in its infancy.
It kind of is, yeah. It would almost be cute in a way, wouldn't it? Just seeing this small acorn just on its way to growing into a wonderful dystopian Orwellian state. It's the beginning. Yeah. Okay, so we've probably done that one, haven't we? So people watching, thanks so much for watching, and we've got a much better viewership than our first attempt at the mafftopia live stream last time. The first proper attempt.
You've got a lot of comments.
Oh, we've got comments. Oh, should we have a quick look? Do you fancy going through the comments? Or it's kind of the reverse of what we do on the Saver Crypto live stream.
Yeah, so normally in the Saver Crypto live streams, there's normally like a very verbose Scotty who is always asking things. Anyway, there appears to be some ones appearing here actually. So this one here is saying, in the US, we don't even have the correct age on record for the voter rolls. A lot of 125-year-olds voted last year.
Yeah, that's a bit. It's a bit notorious, isn't it? That happening. So
yeah. Luff KB is saying, as usual, lawmakers have no idea how open source software works. Yeah. I think there's a lot of that. Also says it's not enforceable. Debian is a foundation. The software is all in the open. Whatever component Canonical puts in, or other companies just leave it out and rebuild. Well,
very much. I think the issue I think is that they shouldn't have to. It's kind of the thing. It's like, why? Because it kind of takes. I mean, I totally agree. By the way, I do think it kind of then. Oh, sorry, just saw an interesting email popped up. I had a short story submission I sent about 6 months ago. Just got the reply.
Okay.
Probably a rejection. They usually are. So yeah. So Linux itself, it obviously has a bit of a reputation for being for techie people who kind of know what they're doing. You know, they're very comfortable typing at the command line. And there's always been this thing about, well, trying to make it more mainstream, more so that just normies, is that non-insulting way? Just like, you know, normal people, non-techie people can use it too, can install it. They don't have to rely on some technically able family member or whatever to install it for them and set it up. So is getting there. I would see this as quite a step backwards for that. Like, yeah, we don't want to have that specific privacy nightmare feature. So yeah, you just need to download the source, compile the binaries, and rebuild the kernel and blah blah blah. You know, all this sort of stuff. It's I know these days it's not that difficult even, but it is that extra step to have to do that. But yeah, interesting. Rebel. Oh, sorry, you were reading these.
I do like this person's name, by the way, Rebel Overlord. That's good.
Yeah,
that's a good one. I like that.
Yeah,
do you not attribute to ignorance what belongs to malice? Yeah, true. And he goes on to say, what they go on to say, claims of such things belong to protect children. It's just bull poop to sucker old ignorant liberals into enabling a digital dictatorship. Yeah.
Yes. 100%. It's very telling which US states are the first to be kind of introducing this as well, along those lines. So yeah, what we got next then? So I could play the. Sorry, I got to get much better at this. Slicker at just kind of jumping to the next thing. So the next story is about Elon Musk and Tesla and AGI, and that's pretty much the sum of the story, to be honest. But let's just quickly do this first.
I still can't get the first word. I still can't get the first word that dog says.
Yeah, it was Grok that produced that, and I think it's one of those, like, it's just not a word. It's it's a grunt. I don't know if it's actually the dog doing the grunt rap. I'm not sure. Anyway, so this Elon Musk saying that Tesla will be the first. This conflicts with my headline I was going to read out. I was going to say, he says Tesla will be the first to achieve AGI, but here he's actually saying will be one of the companies, and probably the first, will be one of the companies to make AGI, and probably the first to make it in humanoid / atom shaping form. Atom shaping is like kind of like from Terminator 2, I guess, with the T, whatever it was, shape shifting, and so yeah, probably. So just to,
can I just interrupt slightly?
Yeah.
Right. So this is one of these bits where I'm going to either look a bit thick, or hopefully everyone else will be thinking, "My God, I'm glad he asked that." So can you just give us the difference between AGI and AI?
Yes, yeah, and I'm very glad you asked that. So I've actually got an infographic on this. So let's bring that up. And I need to get hotkeys, because I'm just kind of like looking around carefully with the mouse to which thing do I bring up. I need just specific hotkeys to bring these things up. Actually, we didn't really go through that, did we? But it was on screen for a while. Anyone who's interested in just rewind and pause, as the young folks say these days, and look through that.
But
so
later.
AGI versus normal AGI. So AGI, by the way, is artificial general intelligence versus normal artificial intelligence. So AGI then is artificial intelligence that can understand, learn, and perform any intellectual task, like reading from an auto cue, that a human being can, often at or beyond human level across virtually all cognitive domains. Does that make sense? So in other words, they're multi-purpose. It's one AI that can figure things out and do different things, take on new tasks essentially, because they're smart. They got the smarts. So kind of like a robot that can boil a kettle and make toast and change the fuse or hold a cushion over the smoke alarm when the toast gets burned. This video didn't quite work, but I'll show it anyway. So. Like so. And I wasn't quite sure about the toast going, or the bread going in sideways into the toaster. I think that maybe that'd be the Gen 1 AGI doing that, just like mushing the bread, pushing it down the wrong way around.
And you do need the actual the alarm going off as well, you know.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And when it does, people always, well, I do anyway, always scream something like, "Oh, damn," you know.
Oh, damnations. Yeah.
You know, something like that as it starts beeping like mad, and then I sort of run towards the consumer unit and plunge the whole house into darkness.
Yeah, essentially. Is that how it usually goes, I think. So so essentially then so AGI, so it doesn't necessarily mean that an AGI agent can think like we can, because I think that there is often some misconception about what AGI is even really about. So they wouldn't so like a robot, an AGI robot or agent wouldn't have like a human-like sense of a persistent stream of consciousness, because like AI models, when they run, they just sort of switch off between tasks. They're not active. It's a computer program running. It runs its task, stops, and it's gone until it switches on again. So unless it's got like some sort of persistent memory running between tasks, then it's not really going to kind of pick up any learning of, or a sense of living, maybe, of just like, you know, persisting from one period of time to another, if you see what I mean. So like an AGI could have things like this, like, you know, the persistent stream of consciousness and so on, but it doesn't necessarily, that's not like the definition of AGI, you know. So like it wouldn't have like an ongoing independent inner monologue, like background reasoning when it's idle, or a continuous like subjective awareness in between tasks. So it's not just like sitting there thinking, I think therefore blah blah blah, you know. It's just it's not the thing, you know. So there are researchers like that, those in the know, who tend to separate intelligence from consciousness, because they're definitely different things. So in fact, there's an online community called Less Wrong, that discusses things like cognitive bias, philosophy, rationality, and of course AI. They do talk a lot about machine consciousness. So like something they've noted apparently in a few arguments is, or discussions, that like dangerous AGI capabilities like deception, self-preservation, or world domination, they don't actually even need consciousness. So like, or understanding in the philosophical sense, or, you know, subjective experience and all that sort of thing. So that's fine. but you start to realize maybe why just general AI agents are the worrying development out of AI, I think. When because they become super capable or super generally capable AGI agents. That might well be the thing. It's probably going to make it a bit difficult to really say, like, okay, so who so a company like Tesla, they will suddenly claim that they're the first to have reached kind of AGI level AIs or robots and so on. But it's very subjective. So, like, unless there's a very, very strict, commonly agreed definition, then it's like, they'll be the first. Someone else will be like, yeah, but there was this other thing, and we're the first at that, and so on. So it'll get messy. I think there'll be lots of claims here, there, and everywhere. So yeah, that's that. How are we doing for time, actually? About another 10-15 minutes, I suppose, and then it's the thing. So got any thoughts on that? Should we hop on to the next one?
I'm just trying to think how that all relates to actual cars. Which
cars,
as in Tesla cars,
Oh yeah. Okay. Actually, that's a good point. Yeah, was it? Well, I suppose probably that, because so if a car, if a kind of self-driving car, say, is driving along, it needs to be able to make decisions about, like, kind of novel situations, and it needs to be autonomous in terms of its thinking and initiative and things. So, like, if it's driving along and a rat runs out in the road, does it swerve to avoid the rat at the risk of the people in the car? Or does it just, like, go, yeah, roadkill, yeah, on we go, bump bump? So, or would it, if a deer or an elk or something just runs out, does that's going to change its thinking, isn't it? Or if there's, because then suddenly if it doesn't do something, take an evasive maneuver, the people in the car are going to be at risk because of that. But, I mean, those are fairly obvious ones. I think those would just be coded in anyway. Rat versus elk, kind of smackdown, just that.
I don't know. I mean, I assume they it would work on the sort of, like, the risk factor, really, but there again, there's probably not that much risk in running over cats,
Cats, yeah, cats are fine. Just don't even take a slightly different route. Just
yeah, but I believe that's frowned upon, though. Sort of running over your neighbour's cat.
Yeah, true. I suppose it depends how slowly the car's moving. It might accelerate to get to the cat before it's managed to leave the road, hasn't it?
But if your neighbour had a rat that escaped, is it okay to kill that? I suppose.
Yeah, well, it's a civic duty at that point. Yeah. So maybe the same for the cat, suddenly.
Yeah, you've killed the neighbour's rat, but you also killed their cat as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think cars should think that much, to be honest. Actually, I think that's my thoughts about it.
Yeah, it's
it would worry me.
Yeah, there is that thought that because it's literally got your life in its, well, not hands, so it's not really literally. It's absolutely got your life in its hands. So and it, like, probably like 1,000 times a second, literally, it'll be making just life or death decisions. There's a telegraph pole, or there's a tree. Do I just maneuver and crash into that? No. And then the next time, during the 1,000 times a second, it rolls the dice, and it's good. How about this time? How about this time? So there's that side of it. How much do we, and, like, say, probably going to be the same with aeroplane autopilots at the moment. I suppose they're relatively dumb, which is a good thing, isn't it? It's exactly what you're saying. As soon as you give them the opportunity to think too much and get all existential while they're flying along, and they'll be constructing little kind of, or big simulated empires in their minds, and fighting simulated wars because they'll be bored on a long flight. And does that change their way of thinking? It's kind of, is the AGI model kind of training itself in that sense, while it's flying along, got all these people's lives in its autopilot hands on the yoke or whatever. So it gets to the stage where, because it's so easy for bugs to creep into relatively complex software now, and things like wasn't it that thing on, was it Boeing? It's usually Boeing, isn't it, or sometimes Airbus, but the thing where there was a problem with the airliner yoke, and it kind of just like, or the plane plunged, didn't it? It was just like going down suddenly because the autopilot had decided that might be a good idea. And I think they just managed to kind of disable it before hitting the ground or the ocean. But that was a genuine thing. And so, and that's with, like, relatively dumb autopilot software running the show. But as soon as because then we're kind of like adding to the complexity, giving it thinking capability. Maybe, I know I was just saying AGI isn't really about thinking, but you know what I mean? It's just like it gets more and more of that. And what other sort of unforeseen bugs and things are going to creep in? There's too much complexity to really kind of fully test, go through lots and lots of scenario tests and things before the aeroplane is released into the sky from the slingshot. So it's just, it is kind of worrying, actually.
It could give a whole new meaning to the blue screen of death, couldn't it?
Jesus. Yeah. Oh, that went dark all of a sudden.
Yeah. Anyway, Andreas319 says, I'm quite sure AGI will have to have very different technology. One of the potential technology brands
is currently very
small, but growing brain tissue computers. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I think. Oh, have you disappeared? I think you may have dropped it. Oh, you're back. There's a gap then. I think you're back.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay. It said one potential technology branch is currently very small, but growing brain tissue computers, which we were talking about on Tuesday, weren't we?
We were, yeah. So Andreas, you should definitely go and watch that if you haven't already, because it was exactly. I mean, I'm actually kind of both excited and a little bit icked out by the sort of brain in a jar thing. The neurons on the dish, because it's the fact that I'm trying to remember the name now. The Australian company, the pioneering thing, really.
VB, wasn't it? Was that them?
No, that was the other. That was the spinal surgery thing. Yeah. But it cognitive something or other.
Oh,
anyway,
CL, some cognitive labs or something, wasn't it? Or
something like that. But essentially, their chip that they're selling, and you can also rent access to it in the cloud, has got like 200,000 biological brain cells, neurons, on it, grown from human stem cells. So, which is pretty shocking, but also pretty damn amazing. And they're touting it as not artificial intelligence, because of course it's an actual brain. So Rebel Overlord.
Yeah, he's Rebel Overlord was talking about fembots, which develop independence and start to complain about being stuck at home in the kitchen and the bedroom.
Feminist bots, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Well, yeah, that's the other thing. Oh yeah, the CL1. That's
yes,
the chip we were talking about. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'd want my car to think like I do, not like somebody I'm supposed to be, I think.
Yeah. True. Yeah. Oh,
That's a
you
bit deep,
mean
isn't it?
so it's not going to be like the Platonic version of you, and you shouldn't have to be like the Platonic version of your car.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to
Be
be
the car. Yeah.
I'm not going to be swerving out the way of bees, you know.
No.
Even though I know that bees are very important, but at the same time, going in a straight line is quite important as well, you know.
Yeah, true. And yeah, it is this thing. I mean, interesting one, definitely. Because we talk about that sort of thing as, and I do as well, but like probably assuming that we're always going to do a better job than an AGI at making those moment by moment decisions. But it is also just, are the decisions we're currently making just good enough anyway? You know, do we actually need something to do a better, faster job at that? It depends. I mean, I wouldn't mind reading a book while I'm driving from A to B or something.
Yeah.
There's it. So, yeah.
Okay. So sorry, I probably stayed on that one too long, but yes.
No, it's all good stuff actually. We should dwell, because it's what it's all about really. Just dig into the subjects. So we've got one about gut bacteria converting fat from basically storing energy to burning energy.
And you've still got your AGI.
Yeah, I'm going to switch that now. So, all right, give me a chance.
Well, it's hard to think about gut bacteria, and I'm looking at AGI stuff, you know.
Yeah, true. Yeah, fair point. Oh, yeah, okay. So this produces, well, I say I produce this infographic, just an AI produces infographic, and I'm not sure if that's even anything to do with the actual topic, to be honest. But I'll leave it there because it's interesting. This is kind of about different types of fats and brain aging and things based on different ones. So the key message: where fat accumulates may matter more than how much for long-term brain health. Yeah, like sort of skinny fat, is it saying? Which is very, very bad. That's the bad type of fat to have. So it's also ironic, isn't it? It's like it's almost cruel calling it skinny fat.
Yeah, that sounds like a good fat, you know, whereas fatty fat sounds like a
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's hey, look, I'm feeling really healthy. I lost all this weight. Oh, you've got skinny fat, mate. Bastard. So, and also, I didn't produce like a AI video for this one because I thought that could be quite insulting to some people. But essentially, where did the thing go? Sorry, bring that back. Yeah, okay. There's an article about this one. Let me bring that up. It's yeah. So crikey. So microbiota mediated induction of beige adipocytes in response to dietary cues. So, has everyone got that? So yeah. So essentially, scientists have uncovered a biological pathway in which specific gut bacteria, activated by a low protein diet, transform energy storing white fat into calorie burning beige fat in mice. And it's a finding that it says here could eventually open new avenues for treating obesity and diabetes. There's also the aspect of just if you're worried about your weight, just stop eating for a while. Eat sensible things if you're going to eat for a while. The autophagy is a good thing generally if done right and very, very carefully to kind of solve various ailments. Literally not eating for a day or two, but with lots and lots of water, and as I say, just done very carefully and probably not too often. But you'll get lots of weight loss from that, and more importantly, lots of health benefits It's not really to do with the weight loss. So one to keep in mind. So that's that one. Should go on to the next one, because that one's a fairly kind of is interesting. It's also a bit of a dry topic, I think. Next, we've got this one, which is chimps' love for crystals could help us understand our own ancestors' fascination with these stones. So, and so apparently, some modern day humans still like shiny rocks and crystals. Just like go figure, you know. So it's a subset, I think, of the humans. But yeah, essentially with this, I mean, this really is quite interesting. So crystals, it says, have repeatedly been found at archaeological sites alongside Homo sapiens, I assume, remains. Evidence shows that hominins have been collecting these stones for as long as kind of 750,000 years, pretty much. Yet we know that our ancestors did not use them as, like, you know, they didn't throw crystals at each other as weapons or tools or even jewelry. So no like diamond-tipped drills, I guess, back in those days. So why did they collect them at all? Is it pure fascination of them? So there was a study, anyway, that was published in Frontiers in Psychology. And so scientists in Spain investigated the characteristics of crystals that may have made them so fascinating to our ancestors and to chimpanzees. So they showed enculturated, I guess, tame chimpanzees used to people. This is the thing, though, that they're enculturated, which I assume is not just they've been given a particular yogurt. It's just like I guess they've been around humans, so that there may have been some contamination, I suspect, of behavioral traits and things that they, because if there's the is it Diane Foss or whatever, the ape naturalist from years ago, who was very, very in with the apes and things, but if there's someone like that there who's probably an absolute hero, to be honest, just doing this sort of stuff, but if he or she is wearing lots of jewelry while doing this stuff, the apes or the chimps might pick up on that sort of thing. And ants, it's cool. So I wonder if I can play this while muting it, because I don't want to get a copyright strike on this, but do that. I just wanted to make this full screen, but not that. So what's it doing? What's it doing? That's a giant crystal. It's looking puzzled. It's musing. What's it gonna do with it? How long is the video? It could be another 10 minutes of that. Oh no, it's going to start masturbating, isn't it? Chimps always do. Especially if it's a live cam. they do that at the zoo, don't they?
Yeah, they usually sort of stick their fingers up the bum and pull turds out and stuff like that. It's just disgusting.
Yeah, it's like, Mummy, Daddy, what's it doing? Shut up. So, anyway, so the monolith, it then starts. It's very 2001. But talk about the blah blah blah. So essentially, that it seems pretty fascinating. I think that they're given a large crystal, the monolith, placed it on a platform along with a normal rock of similar size. So both rocks caught the chimps' attention, and soon they preferred playing with the crystal. They ignored the poor rock. They didn't like the rock. They wanted the crystal, and they were just like looking through it. Is that really how rigorous a scientific experiment is that? They've got a masturbating chimp with a dubious shaped crystal that it's holding, and of course it's going to be looking through it. It's going to be like, ooh, shiny things, you know.
Well, exactly. That's what I was going to say. I mean, the whole point about crystals and stuff like that is they're pretty, and the way the light diffracts through them and stuff like that is interesting.
Yeah.
You know, they're just like a damn sight more interesting to look at and fondle than an
Yeah.
old rock.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I mean, we were talking about murdering cats earlier on, but like, 'cause that's the way we seem to have gone on this channel. But cats are fascinated by things like that. You know, you don't have to be like humanoid. You don't have to be like human shaped to be fascinated by crystals, because of course, you know, that like, ooh, they'd be like mesmerized by the shining lights refracting through it and so on. So I don't know. Yeah, give it a fascinating shiny crystal, and it preferred that to a rock. Of course, it's like it's like giving it. Yeah, it's like giving it food and saying it preferred the food. It wanted to eat the food and not the rock, and that provides insight into our early ancestors. Okay. Anyway, so we've got crystals on our minds. And yeah, apparently they then had to go and take it to the hospital to extract the crystal from the chimp. Anyway, so that's about it, really.
I do sometimes feel that, you know, some people have got a little bit too much spare time.
Yeah, and maybe some scientists have got a bit too much funding, I suppose.
Yeah.
So
that's where the research grant went.
Yeah, exactly. How long did it take them to set up that experiment? Like a year of preparation. Then they finally put out the crystal in the rock. You know, which is it going to go towards? So I did have like a AI related news speed run, but I think we're actually out of time. So we can maybe do that next time.
Keep them wanting more, and
yeah.
Hopefully everyone will come back next time, which is next Tuesday. Is that right?
It is. Yeah, absolutely. So actually, how many people are still? I shouldn't say a number really, because the number of views do go up afterwards as well, which is pretty great. So I can't find the thing now. Is it? Oh well. So yeah, just. That is about it then. So I think we've done well, like second time around. Yeah. So any last words or thoughts before we go?
Not particularly, but just thank you for everyone coming along. If you're interested in the sort of stuff that me and Maff talk about, we do talk about crypto as well on most weekdays at 12 o'clock UTC. I'll just pop the URL in the chat there in case you want to subscribe to that channel as well. Subscribe to this channel as well, and
only some of the banners. I mean, I suppose I got the Rumble banner showing and things like that. But
thank you for having me, and look forward to the next one.
Yeah, thank you for being here as well. It's definitely makes us easier, like actually talking to a person and getting talked back at. I guess. Thanks everyone who's commented as well. Really appreciate that. So yeah, we'll be back here on Tuesday, same time, 4:30 UK time, with more science and technology stuff, and we'll be live streaming from the Savers Crypto channel on X and YouTube tomorrow at 12 p.m. midday UK time, talking all things Bitcoin, crypto, and live trading with the Quadzilla. Oh God, I forgot to do that bit. I was going to do this like, and now a word from our sponsor, Quadzilla. But there you go. With a Quadzilla indicator, which we've co-created, and it's kind of the Kaiju mascot of the Save the Crypto channel, and and also if you're a financial trader, you should definitely check out Quadzilla, because it gives you a trading edge. And don't forget, please, to subscribe, follow, like, comment, all that good stuff. And till next time, bye from me and from him.
Okay. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Cheers.